Hey all you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new Marvel Legends 6-inch The Astonishing Ant-Man 2-pack featuring Scott Lang, Ant-Man, and Stinger. Now this set from Hasbro was initially going to be released as a Toys R Us exclusive, and in fact some of these have started to be released at a few Toys R Us stores, but these are also going to be available online at comic and specialty shops and etailers like Big Bad Toy Store, who do currently have this set up for pre-order. Now the figure comes packaged in the same style that we've been seeing with all the Marvel Legends. You've got the Legend Series logo up at the top, you've got the figures clearly displayed in the window box. Down below you've got the Astonishing Ant-Man logo and the name of the characters. On the sides of the packaging, it's the same artwork on both sides, and it just features both Ant-Man and Stinger. And then on the back of the packaging, we have a look at both figures, a brief bio in multiple languages, and then something we normally don't see on the packaging is up in the top left corner. It tells us these figures are based or inspired by the art featured in the Astonishing Ant-Man comic book. Alright, let's get these open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figures outside the packaging along with the other contents. Now the only accessory that you get with this set are the wings for the Stinger figure, and these are done with a translucent clear plastic with a blue tint to it, and we've seen these before with the Wasp figure and stuff. Now with these wings you only get actually one set, so essentially you just get the larger portion of the wings with the Stinger. You don't get the smaller ones. You get the little hole and everything, but they did not include the smaller ones for some reason. I don't know, maybe in the comics her wings are only one instead of double, but basically you just plug these into the back. It's same getup as with like the Wasp figure, and you got these little pegs and you just plug the wings in there, and you get the articulation, you got the hinge joints, and you can rotate around a bit and everything, so you can turn them down so when she's not flying they're more concealed and stuff. So again, very similar to what we saw with like the Wasp figure and such. Okay, now for the figures themselves, starting with the Stinger figure. Now if you're not familiar with this character, her real name is actually Cassie Lang. She's a younger type character. She's actually the daughter to Scott Lang, which is what this version of Ant-Man is based on. This is not the Hank Pym Ant-Man. And so being a younger character, they've chosen to use that smaller female buck that we've seen many times in the Marvel Legend line that we first saw, I believe, with the Jubilee Build-A-Figure. Now because of that, unfortunately, you do get that bad gappage where the legs meet the torso section here, like we always see with this mold. And then my one other main complaint with this figure is the paint application. So here on the leg you can see this purple here that's below the thigh joint is a much darker purple than this purple they used on the upper leg. Now they use that darker purple more throughout the rest of the figure, so basically it's these the purple they used on these upper legs, which really doesn't match the rest of the figure and definitely stands out a bit. I don't know why they chose to use a different purple on that, but like I said, it definitely stands out a bit. Now for the rest of the figure, with the head sculpt, I think they actually did a pretty good job here. She's got the antennas, which are done with that kind of flexible plastic, so you don't really have to worry about these breaking off or anything. She's got the purple eyes, some red lipstick, good skin tone, metallic silver for the helmet, and then she's got these horns that kind of come out. I don't know what these are technically, but they look like horns to me, and they come out the side of the helmet. One thing I want to note about the helmet that I don't really like is you do get some marbleization effect going on it, and in fact the way it looks on the back of the helmet here, it almost looks like she has a big crack in the helmet. And then for the rest of the figure, you've just got the purple with the black markings. She's got some metallic silver on her shoulders. They did not paint the hinge joints here, so that stands out a little bit. And she's got the black on the lower arms, again with the metallic silver on her wrists and her hands with the little yellow circles, and you've got that on both sides. They sculpted the left hand so it's open, and the right hand with a closed fist. And then for the legs, you've got the two different shades of purple, and then the rest of the legs, her boots basically are done with just a standard black paint. Now for the Ant-Man figure, I think this is probably the better of the two figures in this set. I like the sculpting detail. I like the helmet. I think they've done a good job. So he's got the antennas, and again, these stick out, and they're done with a plastic, a flexible plastic, and they're pretty straight out of the packaging, and you don't have to worry about them breaking or anything. You've got some line work sculpted on the helmet, and it's done with just a metallic silver, and he's got the little red circles on the sides of the helmet and the red on the eyes, which I think look pretty good. good skin tone. He's got kind of a smirk expression, which looks decent. And then I kind of like how the helmet is not removable and it's, you know, sculpted on there, but this piece that comes over his chin is actually a separate piece from the face, so you can actually kind of pull it down if you want to. You know, there's no real reason to, I guess, but I just kind of like how you can move that around a little bit. And then he's got this this torso section, the arms and the legs. And when I say the arms, I'm including these inner butterfly joint pieces, are all from the Bullseye figure. But this torso section is actually new, and I don't think has been used on a previous figure. At least I haven't been able to place it. It's kind of distinctive. You've got, looks like some of his costume is bunched down here at his waist, and then on the back here you've got these lines here that go down his spine, that go across. So again, it's definitely not the same torso section as the Bullseye figure, because it doesn't have the crumpled down costume and you don't have those lines on the back there. And you can just tell it is a different torso section. So it's kind of weird that they didn't use the same torso, but again, I don't think this has actually been used on a figure before. The arms again, and then like I said, these inner butterfly joints, those are actually from the Bullseye figure, and then the legs are from the Bullseye figure as well. You've got this piece that's part of his costume, and then you've got the belt, and the belt is done with the metallic silver. It's a separate piece, but it's glued on there. And then you've got, basically, he's got the metallic silver for the knee pads. The rest of the figure is done with just the red and the black. So again, like I said, between the two figures in this set, I think the Ant-Man figure is the better one. So the Ant-Man figure stands just under 6.5 inches tall, while the Stinger figure stands about 5 3/4 inches tall, maybe just a little bit under that. And definitely the Ant-Man figure is taller, as he should be. Here's a comparison of the Stinger figure with the recent Marvel Legends Wasp figure, and Wasp is taller. And then finally, here's a comparison with the Walgreens exclusive Ant-Man figure that we got a year or so ago with the new one. Now this was neither Scott Lang or Hank Pym. This was a third Ant-Man, and honestly, off the top of my head, I can't remember what his real name was. Okay, so for articulation, starting with Stinger, she can turn her head to the left and to the right, and she can actually look down really good and can look back really good for flight poses, which is nice. And then with the arms, they're attached with your standard ball hinge joint there at the shoulder, so she can get her arm out good. She's got good rotation there. Does not have a bicep swivel, does have rotation at the elbow, and of course, since this is a female Marvel Legend, only has a single hinged elbow, has rotation at the wrist and hinges on the hand, so you get up and down movement there. Has a midsection joint, so you get rotation there, and you get a little bit of pivot to the left and right, but not too much. Does not have an ab crunch, does not have a waist swivel. With the legs, can only do the splits about that much. Can get the leg forward good, and can do the leg out and back. Does have a thigh swivel, has a double jointed knee, so good bending there at the knee. Has a boot cuff swivel, and then hinges on the feet, so up and down movement, and does have ankle pivot. And 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Now for Ant-Man, he can turn his head to the left and to the right, and he can look down about that much, and then he can look up that much. He doesn't have any head pivot with this one. Arms attached with your standard ball hinge joint there at the shoulder, so you can get his arm out about that much. Has good rotation there at the shoulder. Also has those butterfly type joints, so you've got good back and forth movement there at the shoulder. Has a bicep swivel, has a double hinged elbow, so good bending there at the elbow. Has rotation at the wrist and hinges on the hand, so up and down movement with that. Has an ab crunch type joint, so he can crunch down good, and he can look back about that much. You get that clicky noise. He's got a waist swivel. With the legs, he can only do the splits about that much. You can get the leg forward good, and you can do the leg out and back. Has a thigh swivel, has a double jointed knee, so good bending there at the knee. Has a boot cuff swivel, hinges on the feet, so up and down movement, and does have ankle pivot. And 2 peg holes on the bottom of it. Okay, so that's my review. So overall, I would say the Ant-Man figure in this set is definitely the better of the 2 figures. I like the overall look of it, and I think it's a solid figure. The Stinger figure isn't horrible, but I do have some complaints with it. I don't like how you get that gap with the legs like we always see with the smaller female buck, and then also I don't like that they use the 2 different shades of purple on the leg. That brighter purple definitely stands out a bit. Also, overall, it would have been nice if maybe they included a few additional accessories with this set. Maybe some shrunk down versions of the characters would have been nice. Otherwise though, if you're a fan of Scott Lang and his daughter, I think this is a set you'll definitely want to check out. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning, this set was originally slated to be a Toys R Us exclusive. However, it is going to be made available to online e-tailers. The set has started to see a limited release at some Toys R Us stores, but it's probably going to be really difficult to find them at Toys R Us, and your best bet if you want to get this set is probably just to pre-order at places like Big Bad Toy Store. It is currently available for pre-order. Now we'll have a full image gallery up at marvelousnews.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment, let me know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button down below. I'd really appreciate it. You can also follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch accounts. I have links to all of those in the video description as well. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.